Hey everyone on YouTube land. This is an inverter. Can you guess how many watts it is? Okay. And so it's a power bright. 1100 watts with peak power. I don't want to show any serial numbers. Okay, I don't trust the bottom of it, but I can show you the vents, the lugs there. Oops, I have to edit that part out, but yep, there it is. Oh, and you car audio guys say your amp has two 40 amp fuses, or there's not but one, there's two. There's a third one, so I'm ahead of all you car audio people. I have more amps on my inverter, and those are true 40 amp fuses. Brand new stock that came with the unit. Now, I got another thing to show you, and I think I might be using this in my car along with my Sony receiver. Here we go. I'm a little bit shaky tonight. I don't know why. Well, then again, we just had a small thunderstorm, so gotta bear with me. I'm a little bit, let me put the camera down to make this go quicker. I've tested an inverter, and it works. And no, it does not want to come apart. It wants to be a pain in the ass. I'm not going to take it apart. That's one other thing I want to add to my video, is my friend pick one of these guys up, and this one here works actually, so it is alive and well. There's the inputs. It's got line level input. It's got a sub. It's a sub remote level. So, speakers. And yeah, my frickin' dog is frickin' complaining. I have already, the serial number on this thing was gone when I got it. It wasn't on the bottom. Unless if it's inside, but who cares? It's a car amp, and I'm never going to do anything with it. I don't happen to own anything to it. I don't even have a manual to it. I'm missing some of the original screws go to it, so I have to kind of make shift. And I might even take the connectors out and make my own custom high current connectors. And yes, a blue fuse is a 15 amp fuse. This is a dark blue fuse, and it's 15 amp rated. So this thing, I'm not sure if that's original, or if that's a repair, or if that's not supposed to be there. So yeah. Okay, so let me check that out. It says fuse, and that's it. I'm not sure if that's original to the unit, but the unit works just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But that's the insides of the beast. It's quite powerful amp. There's the power supply section. Two little wimpy filter caps, but I'm going to leave those guys alone. So that's them. But here's the output capacitors. They're 1,000 microfarads, 35 volts. So it's probably a 25 to 30 volt power supply. And some more plus minus, because the way these amps work is you got a plus and minus power supply. Because if you look, there's one diode, so you're filtering that side. And the reason for having, plus minus on an amplifier is you can get a bigger swing. That's a thermal protection. Big MOSFETs for the drive, and these are rectifier MOSFETs. I've had these off. These are the filter rectifiers. So you take your high frequency AC from this, it travels through a coil, and it goes all the way over there. It goes to these guys. These guys take it, make it into DC. So like a computer power supply. These are like the same exact type of chip what you're going to find in a computer power supply. These are your drives. And then those guys are your audio drives down there. They're an oddball looking one. I haven't really had this thing apart at all, but I can tell you it's a pretty nice amplifier. Got a couple 1 ohm resistors in there. But yeah, I'll see if I can get the inverter here apart. And like I say, I got some capacitors, and I think I might just put these guys into the the input side of the car amp, and then the output side of the car amp I might actually, get some, more of these Michicon fine gold guys. So yeah, because I want to raise my rectification and my voltage storage, so it will be a faster delivery in terms of voltage. These are 16 volts. I don't know what's plus minus on these guys, so well, again, the long leg is always going to be plus. So if you look at one that's marked, let's grab over here. See the negative lead there, and one lead's longer than the other, so that's going to tell me who's plus minus, so I can use that reference for those two there. That's just some parts. This is just a capacitor bag, and I repurposed it to put some resistors and a toroid, because I'm making a circuit what needs that particular toroidal thing. So I'll try getting this thing apart again. I'm not sure if I even have the right screwdriver for it. Or maybe one of the screws is actually in there improperly, and that's why it doesn't want to come out. But it seems to come out okay now, so. This thing has a battery voltage display and a watt meter. I keep it in battery voltage display because I can just monitor the battery without having to get an auxiliary meter. Makes it easier for those who do it that way. Now, I might do a YouTube direct upload from my old video camera. It's actually kind of dead so. And I'll probably do it that way because it's easier for me. This thing comes apart like a car amp, basically. The bottom slides off. I know some car amps slide off, some lift off like that one. That's just a cheap no-name. I'm not sure. I'm not going to be very stupid and say it's a cheap amp. It's actually probably a decent quality, but there's the insides of the inverter. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those transformers. You can barely see the other one. It's buried down in there. Filter capacitor. These are resistor things. And then, let's see here. Some circuitry. A thermal protection circuit. And then down in there is a whole bunch of driver MOSFETs. And it's got a big heatsink, what is actually dedicated, I believe, for the MOSFETs. I believe there's a row of filter caps all the way down there. I can't really see underneath the heatsink. I'm not going to pull the whole thing apart right now. It works just fine. I'll probably get it apart later on in its life when I have to recap it. It's going to be a hell of a job. It is modified sine. And you can probably just, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Maybe 5 of them. I'm not really sure, but yeah. And transformers, piezo buzzer. Call it whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. It's just and please, no haters on this. I know this is modified sine, and I don't really give a shit about it. Because it works just fine. These are your outputs. That's plus, that's minus. You get the plus minus outputs, just like, so you get your positive sign, you got your negative sign. The reason why these are kind of like a squarish wave is you're reaching the peak of the transistor, and the transistor is not going to go past that, and these are just resistors, so I kind of bent a little bit. So yeah, so basically it goes, it's almost a sine wave, but it's not a true sine wave. It's kind of like one. It's a modified sine, so it's not a square wave. I've tested that. It's a sine. It's almost a sine. It's not a complete sine wave. But it doesn't seem to upset anything that's plugged into it. I do get a bit of a whine from transformers, but that is just a whiner like that. A whine. Oh, here's a cheap capacitor. I don't know what the hell that's doing in there. Maybe I'll let that car amp have that capacitor on the low voltage side of things, because there's no high frequency coming into those. But it's the rectifier ones that I would not do that with. If you were to do it, I would probably take, like, him, He's a Nippon Chemicon capacitor. This is the SME series capacitor, and I only have 13 minutes max. I want 10 minutes. This is okay brand. This is one you want to watch out for. Sanyo or Sharp or whatever the company is. There's another Chemicon. I had to force that thing to blow up. You can see it spewed all of its electrolyte. I had to force it to explode. The lighting in here sucks. I have two stupid ass CFLs. Here's a Nichicon capacitor. These are good Japanese guys. And here's some cheap shit ones. You see these in some car amps. They're, okay. See, what's he? This is an Elma. Elmas are okay, but they do have a fatal side. They do blow up. I've had pretty good luck with this brand of capacitor. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. I've had good luck with him. Likewise with this guy. This Chemicon as well. This is KZE series. 6.3 volts. I've had okay luck with certain camps. Oh, these are Nichicon solid-state capacitors. Soon to go into my little 300-watt inverter when I have a chance to recap them. But yeah. And this, so you guys can see them, and I can show you guys my big-ass filter capacitors. I'll show you the one I'm going to use for my car stuff first. But I gotta cut this video short, so there he is. Alright, bye everyone.